Every geography exam puts data in front of you and asks you to say something about it. A climate graph showing 12 months of temperature and rainfall, a bar graph showing a trend over 20 years, a table of numbers, a photograph of a landscape. The marks don't go to students who memorize the most content. They go to students who read the data correctly and write the right type of sentence. If you've ever handed in a data question and wondered why you lost marks when the answer was sitting right there on the page, this video is exactly what you need. Let's fix that. This video is for Singapore Sec 1 geography students who want to stop losing marks on data questions. Maybe you've written, rainfall is high, and found it scored nothing. Maybe you've confused describe and suggest and gotten them backwards. Maybe you keep forgetting to write dear CC or M after your values. All of that is what we're fixing today. Look at the outcomes on the right side of the screen. By the end of this video, you'll be able to read any climate graph in 5 steps, describe any trend using the right sentence structure, identify features in a photograph, and use suggest correctly every single time. Those skills appear in every WA and every final exam. Let's build them now. Here's your roadmap for today. Look at the 4 chapters on screen. These are your timestamps, so jump to any chapter you need. Chapter 1 at 3 minutes is climate graphs, the most common data type. Chapter 2 at 7 minutes is bar and line graphs plus data tables. Chapter 3 at 11 minutes is photographs, including the difference between describing and suggesting. Chapter 4 at 14 minutes is command words, the 5 words that tell you what type of answer to write. Keep your viewing guide open throughout and fill in the tables and steps as we go. Pause whenever you need to write something down. Before we start, let's name the 3 mistakes that cost students the most marks on data questions, because if you've been making any of these, recognizing them now means not repeating them. Look at the 3 error cards on screen. Mistake 1, describing without specific values. Rainfall is high, earns 0 marks. Rainfall peaks at 257 millimeters in December, earns the mark. The graph gives you the numbers, you have to use them. Mistake 2, describing when asked to suggest. If you write, the photograph shows mangroves, which suggests there are mangroves, that's circular and scores nothing. Suggest means give a geographical reason beyond what you can see. Mistake 3, missing units. Temperature ranges from 26 to 28 is incomplete. It must say 26 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. Units are part of the value. Always include them. Here's why data questions lose marks. And it's not what most students think. Students often assume that if they fail a data question, it means they didn't know enough geography. But that's usually not the issue. Look at the 2 reasons on screen. The first is not knowing what to look for, which values matter, where the axes are, what the columns in the table represent. The second is not knowing what to write, whether this question wants a description, an explanation, or a suggestion. Both of these are procedure problems, and procedures can be learned. You don't need more memorization, you need a reading protocol and a writing formula. That's exactly what this video gives you. Let's look at exactly what data questions ask you to do, because knowing this makes everything in this video feel purposeful. Look at the WA questions on screen. Describe the temperature pattern, 2 marks. Describe the trend in water consumption, 2 marks. Suggest 1 reason why there are no buildings, 2 marks. And in the final exam, you'll also describe what a photograph shows, suggest a climate type from visual evidence, and identify a limitation of the data source. Look at the mark totals. If you apply the protocols we cover today, you're looking at 6 to 10 guaranteed marks across every map and data paper. The data is already there. The protocols just show you how to read it. Chapter 1, Climate Graphs. Climate graphs are the single most common data type in Sec 1 geography exams. Every WA has one, and every final exam has one. If you've ever felt unsure about which axis to read, or which months to mention, or exactly how to phrase your description, this chapter answers all of that. We're going to start with the most important rule about climate graphs, which is also the most commonly broken rule. Then we'll look at Singapore's own climate data as our main worked example. Then we'll go through the exact sentence structure for describing temperature and rainfall. Let's go. Here is the most important rule about climate graphs, and I want you to hear this clearly before you read any value from any graph. A climate graph has two y-axes. Look at the diagram on screen. The left y-axis measures temperature in degrees Celsius, and it's associated with the line, usually shown in red or coral. The right y-axis measures rainfall in millimeters, and it's associated with the bars, usually shown in blue. The x-axis shows the 12 months from January to December. Before you read a single value from any climate graph, check both axis labels. Left, temperature, degrees Celsius. Right, rainfall, millimeters. This single step stops the most common climate graph reading error, which is reading a rainfall value from the wrong axis. Check the labels first, every time. Now let's look at Singapore's climate data, the worked example we'll use for the rest of this chapter. Look at the climate graph on screen. The blue bars show Singapore's rainfall each month, ranging from a low of 112 millimeters in February to a peak of 257 millimeters in December. The coral line shows Singapore's temperature, almost flat across the year, ranging from 26 degrees Celsius in January to 28 degrees in May and June. Notice two things straight away. First, temperature barely changes. The range is only 2 degrees Celsius across the entire year. That's extremely narrow. Second, rainfall is much more variable. The range is 145 millimeters. February is much drier than December. You live here, you've experienced this. These numbers should feel familiar. Here's the sentence formula for describing temperature. Look at the formula banner on screen. Temperature is consistent variable throughout the year, ranging from a low of blank degrees Celsius in month to a high of blank degrees Celsius in month. 3 components, all required. 1. The overall pattern, consistent, variable, or seasonal. 2. The lowest value with its month and unit. 3. The highest value with its month and unit. Now look at the Singapore example below. Temperature is consistently high throughout the year, ranging from a low of 26 degrees Celsius in January and December to a high of 28 degrees Celsius in May and June. Notice how the example hits all 3 components. The pattern is described consistently high. The low is given with months and unit. The high is given with months and unit. That's 1 mark secured. Memorize that structure. Now here's the formula for describing rainfall, and it follows the same 3-part logic. Look at the blue formula banner on screen. Rainfall is high 8, low 5, variable throughout the year, with a peak of blank millimeters in month and a trough of blank millimeters in month. And see the Singapore example below, rainfall is high but variable throughout the year, with a peak of 257 millimeters in December and a trough of under 12 millimeters in February. 3 components again. Overall pattern, peak with value and month, trough with value and month. See the green card below that? If there's a clear seasonal pattern, like the northeast monsoon making November to January wetter, you can add that as a 3rd sentence. It shows geographical understanding and can earn an extra mark on higher level questions. For a basic 2-mark describe question, the 2-sentence formula is enough. Pause the video now. The Singapore climate data is on screen. 2 tasks for you. Task 1, write down the month with the highest rainfall and the exact value in millimeters. Task 2, write 1 sentence describing the temperature pattern using the formula on screen. Overall pattern, low value with month and unit, high value with month and unit. The data is right there. Take about 30 seconds, write both answers, then unpause, and I'll go through them with you. Let's check your answers. For task 1, the highest rainfall month is December at 257 millimeters. November is close at 254 millimeters, so if you wrote November as the runner-up, that's a useful observation to add. For task 2, the model temperature sentence is, temperature is consistently high throughout the year, ranging from a low of 26 degrees Celsius in January and December to a high of 28 degrees Celsius in May and June. Now look at the self-check on screen. 4 questions. Did you include the month? Did you write degrees Celsius? Did you describe the overall pattern? Did you give both the low and the high? If you missed any of those, that's exactly what the mark scheme looks for. Add it in, and your answer is complete. Chapter 2. Bar and line graphs plus data tables. After climate graphs, these are the most common data sources in your exam. A bar graph shows values at distinct points, separate years, separate countries, separate categories. A line graph shows continuous change over time. Both use the same 5-step reading protocol, and both require the same type of description. What was the trend? Where was the trend? Where was the trend? Where was the trough? How did it change? This chapter gives you the step-by-step protocol and the sentence formulas, so that when you see any bar or line graph, you know exactly what to do. Here are your 5 steps for reading any bar or line graph. Look at the step cards on screen. Step 1. Read the title. What is being measured? Step 2. Read both axes. What is the variable and what are the units? Step 3. Find the highest value and note when it occurred and how much it was. Step 4. Find the lowest value and note when it occurred and how much it was. Step 5. Describe the overall trend. Is it increasing, decreasing, or fluctuating? Notice that Step 2 and Step 5 are the most important. Step 2 stops you from reading the wrong unit. Step 5 is what the exam question is usually asking you to describe. And on the right side of the screen, bar versus line. A bar graph compares separate values. A line graph shows change over time. In geography, both types use the same 5 steps. Now let's look at the sentence formulas for describing trends, because having the right language makes your answer score ready. Look at the 5 formula cards on screen. Steady increase, blank, increased steadily from blank in year to blank in year. Steady decrease, the same structure but decreased. Peak then fall, blank increased to a peak of blank in year before declining to blank by year. Sharp change, there was a sharp increase in year, rising from blank to blank. And fluctuation, blank fluctuated between blank and blank throughout the period. Take a photo of this slide or copy these into your reference card. These 5 sentence structures cover every trend you will ever see in a geography exam. The blank spaces are where you fill in the variable name, the values, and the years, which the graph gives you directly. Let's apply those formulas to a worked example. Look at the City Z water consumption data on screen. The bar graph shows consumption rising from 380 million liters per day in 2000 to a peak of 450 in 2010, then falling to 370 by 2020. This is a 2-phase trend, increase then decrease. For a 2-mark question, each phase earns 1 mark. See the 2 answer cards. Phase 1, water consumption in City Z increased steadily from 380 million liters per day in 2000 to a peak of 450 million liters per day in 2010. That's 1 mark, the increase with values. Phase 2, after 2010, consumption fell, decreasing to 370 million liters per day by 2020, lower than the 2000 starting level. That's the 2nd mark, the decrease with values and a comparison point. Notice the structure at the bottom. Increase phase with values plus decrease phase with values equals 2 marks. Follow that structure every time. Pause the video now. Look at the deforestation data for country X on screen. 2 tasks. Sentence 1. Describe what happened to deforestation from 2000 to 2008. Include the starting value, the peak value, and the years. Sentence 2. Describe what happened from 2010 to 2020. Include the starting value, the end value, and the years. Use the trend language from the previous slide. Include values and units, 1,000 hectares. Take about 30 to 45 seconds, write both sentences, then unpause for the model answers. Let's check your sentences. For sentence 1, deforestation in country X increased steadily from 120,000 hectares in 2000 to a peak of 240,000 hectares in 2008. Starting value, peak value, years, unit, all present. That's 1 mark. For sentence 2, after 2010, deforestation decreased steadily from 110,000 hectares to 90,000 hectares by 2020, a fall of 105,000 hectares. Decrease with values and years. 2nd mark. Check your answers against the self-check on screen. Did you use increased steadily or decreased? Did you include actual values, not just went up then down? Did you include units? Did you cover both phases? If all 4 are yes, your answer is complete. If any are missing, that's what to add next time. Chapter 3. Reading photographs. Photographs appear in nearly every WA and final exam. They're used as a source for describe, questions, suggest, questions, and inference questions. The skill here is slightly different from graphs. Instead of reading values, you're identifying features and making geographical inferences. There are 3 things this chapter teaches you: the 2 types of features to identify, the critical difference between describing a photograph and suggesting from one, and how to structure a suggest answer that earns both marks. This chapter has the highest value single skill in the whole video: the describe versus suggest distinction. Let's make sure it's completely clear. Every feature you identify from a photograph falls into one of 2 types. Look at the 2 columns on screen. Physical features are natural, not made by people. They include vegetation and forest, landforms like hills or cliffs, rivers, lakes, coasts, soil or rock type, and sky or cloud conditions. Human features are made or modified by people: buildings, roads, bridges, farmland, dams, reservoirs, and settlement patterns. Before you answer any photograph question, quickly scan the image for both types. Ask yourself, what is the physical setting? What are people doing with or to that setting? Many exam questions ask specifically for one physical feature or one human feature. If you default to only looking for one type, you'll miss half the options. Now, for the most important distinction in this chapter, describe versus suggest. Look at the 2 columns on screen. Describe means stay within the data, say what you can see. The photograph shows steep, rocky slopes with no buildings or roads visible. You are reporting what is directly visible. Suggest means go beyond the data. Give a geographical reason, something the photograph implies but doesn't directly show. This suggests that the steep gradient makes construction dangerous and access difficult, discouraging settlement in this area. The sentence starter, "this suggests" or "this may be because," is your signal that you're doing what suggest requires. If you see the word suggest in a question and you don't use "this suggests" or "this may be because" somewhere in your answer, you are probably describing instead of suggesting. Use those sentence starters. They are the difference between 0 marks and full marks on a suggest question. Let's apply this to the mangrove coast example from the WA practice. Look at the photograph description on screen. A wide, flat coastal area with dense mangroves, calm water, exposed roots, and no buildings. The question is, suggest one geographical reason why there are no buildings. Wrong answer. There are no buildings because there are mangroves. That's circular. It just repeats the photograph. Right answer. Look at the 2 answer cards. Reason 1. The mangrove forest suggests this is an intertidal zone regularly flooded by tidal water, making it unsuitable for constructing buildings. That's 1 mark, a geographical consequence of tidal flooding. Reason 2. The soft, waterlogged soil in mangrove areas makes construction physically difficult and dangerous. That's the 2nd mark, a different geographical reason. 2 separate geographical reasons, each linked to the physical environment shown. That's the 2-mark suggest structure. Pause the video now. Read the photograph description on screen. A wide river, dense forest, overcast sky, wooden houses on stilts, no roads, a narrow boat. 2 tasks. Task 1. Write down 1 physical feature and 1 human feature you can identify from the description. Task 2. The houses are built on stilts above the water. Suggest 1 geographical reason why. Use "this suggests" or "this may be because" in your answer, and give a geographical reason, not a description of what you can see. Take about 45 seconds, then unpause for the answers. Let's go through the answers. For Task 1, physical features you could name: the wide river, the dense forest, the overcast sky. Human features: the cluster of wooden houses, the narrow wooden boat. Either answer in each category is fine, as long as you correctly classified it. For Task 2, model answer, this suggests the area experiences regular flooding. The stilts raise the floor above the flood level, protecting inhabitants from floodwater. That's a complete suggest answer. It uses this suggests, it gives a geographical reason, flooding, and it explains the function of the stilts. An alternative is also fine. This may be because the river floods seasonally. Stilts keep the living area dry during high water periods. Check the self-check on screen. Did you use this suggests or this may be because? Did you give a geographical reason, not just restate the photograph? If yes to both, your answer is correct. Chapter 4. Command words. This is the shortest chapter, but it might be the most useful. The command word is the first word in every exam question. It tells you the type of answer required. Getting the command word wrong means writing the wrong type of answer and losing marks even when your geographical knowledge is correct. Look at the table on screen. 5 words, state or name. 1 word or 1 phrase answer, no explanation needed. Describe, say what you observe, always with values and pattern. Do not explain why. Explain. Give a reason why, use because or therefore, do not just describe. Suggest. Make a geographical inference beyond the data, use this suggests or this may be because. Compare. State both similarities and differences, must cover both sides. Copy this table into your reference card if you haven't already. These 5 words govern every answer you write this year. Let's go deep on describe versus suggest one more time, because this is the one that catches students most often. Look at both columns on screen side by side. Describe stays inside the data. You report what you can see or what the graph shows. Your answer uses words like the graph shows, the photograph shows, the data indicates. Suggest goes outside the data. You use what you can see to infer a geographical reason or conclusion. Your answer uses this suggests or this may be because. Look at the photo example at the bottom. Steep slopes, no buildings. The describe answer stays on the surface. Steep slopes, no buildings visible. The suggest answer adds the geographical reason. The steep gradient makes construction dangerous, discouraging settlement. See the key rule at the bottom of the screen? If the question says suggest, your answer must include a geographical reason that the data does not directly tell you. If you can point to the answer directly in the photograph or graph, you're describing, not suggesting. Let's lock in the 4 common mistakes before we finish. Look at the 4 cards on screen. Mistake 1, describing without values. Rainfall is high is incomplete. Rainfall peaks at 257 millimeters in December is the answer. Always anchor your description to a number from the data. Mistake 2, describing when asked to suggest. Restating the photograph or graph is not a geographical inference. Your suggest answer must include a reason the data implies but does not show, with this suggests, or this may be because. Mistake 3, missing units. Degrees Celsius and millimeters are not optional extras, they are part of the value. A temperature without Celsius or a rainfall without mm is incomplete and loses the mark. Mistake 4, reading only part of the graph. A trend question expects you to cover the full period. If you only describe the peak, you've described one moment, not a trend. Scan the full x-axis before you start writing. You've worked through 4 data types and 5 command words. Let's wrap up with the 5 most important things to take away. 1. Climate graph, always check both y-axis first. Left is temperature in degrees Celsius, right is rainfall in millimeters. 2. Every description must include specific values and units. No values means no marks. 3. Bar and line graphs describe in 2 phases. Increase with values, then decrease with values. That structure reliably earns both marks on a 2-mark trend question. 4. Photographs, describe says what you see. Suggest gives a geographical reason beyond what you see. Always use this suggests or this may be because in a suggest answer. 5. Command words, describe means observe with values. Explain means give a reason. Suggest means geographical inference. Compare means similarities and differences. 5 rules, 4 data types, every data question covered. 3 things to do right now before you close this video. First, your exit ticket. 5 questions, no notes, 5 minutes. It covers climate graph reading, trend description, and the suggest command word. Do it while everything is fresh. Don't leave it until tomorrow. Second, your reference card. There are 4 step-by-step protocols on it. 1 per data type and 5 command word definitions. Look at each protocol and make sure you understand every step. These are the exact procedures you just practiced. Third, worksheets A, B, and C. Worksheet A uses Singapore climate data, that's Chapter 1 applied. Worksheet B uses the Country X deforestation data, Chapter 2. Worksheet C uses the tropical river photograph, Chapter 3. That's all 4 data types practiced in one session. The marks on data questions are already on the page. Now you have the protocol to collect them.